Hey everyone, welcome to It Tastes Different Gaming Appetizers. And you may be wondering, where's Patrick? Where's Shane? Well, I don't know. So it's just me this time. So what are we going to talk about? Well, we're going to talk about Halo. Really, we're going to talk about Joseph Staten. Staten? I hope I'm saying his name correct. Known for his work on the Halo series, has been hired as a creative director for an unannounced Netflix game project. Staten confirms that the game is a new IP and referred to the project as a AAA multi-platform experience. So he is best known for his work as a writer and cinematic director at Bungie and Microsoft, mainly working on the Halo series. While he spent a few years working at the publishing side of Microsoft, in 2020 he returned to the Halo series to work on Halo Infinite, where he worked as the game's creative director. This continued earlier this year when he returned to the publishing side of the company, and now he's left the company entirely to work on a new project at Netflix. Now, the reason I bring this up is because, we've seen a lot of people leave 343 and Halo, and, Bonnie Ross left it last year, head of Halo developer 343 Industries. She had left after being part of the studio for 15 years. So she had left for family medical issues. But still, we're seeing a lot of people leave. We're seeing a lot of big names, a couple of big names, leave Halo and the Halo franchise, or leave 343. And we've already talked about how 343, we're not quite sure how the future of Halo, right? Halo Infinite was, I thought it was an all right game, but it was missing something from that Halo formula that the previous Halo, well, not all of them, but the older Halo games had. And it was, Halo Infinite was kind of a way for them to revitalize the Halo franchise. And I don't think they quite did it. They quite nailed it with Halo Infinite. So, where is Halo going to go from now? We originally thought that 343 Studios was going to stop developing Halo and Microsoft was going to kind of head Halo to someone else. But 343 kind of shot that down and said, nope, it's still us. We're going to do it. Okay. I don't think you're going to do it. You've had, this is like the third Halo game you've made, I think. Right? Because I think Halo 4 was the first one. And Halo 4 wasn't too bad. But then Halo 5 was a big pile of garbage, and Halo Infinite, it was better, but not by much. So, I don't want to see Halo die off. We've talked about this before, but I want to see Halo go to a different developer, right? Someone else needs to really take the Halo franchise and make it something awesome. And it sucks to see these Halo veterans leave 343 and Microsoft altogether that worked on Halo. It's nice to see them, spread their wings and do other things. But it sucks for the Halo game to see these, these people leave, these pioneers of the Halo franchise kind of leave. And, where does that leave Halo? There's still a lot of people at 343 Industries. Maybe them leaving is a good thing. I don't know. But even with Halo Infinite coming out, I have a bad feeling for Halo as a franchise going forward. After Halo Infinite, what are we going to get next? I think with Halo, one of the main things is I think they should have strayed away from that open world aspect, right? I think one of the things that Halo's always had a kind of a semi-open world type of thing, but they've always had these kind of streamlined levels where there's parts that are kind of more open than others, but you have a point A and you have a point B and you have different things that happen. Now, Halo Infinite did have those points at the very beginning, and through some portions of the game, they had that portion of where it was just like a point A to point B type thing. And I wish the entirety of the game was like that, right? I think that would have made it better. Focus on the story, focus on these points of going progression, right? Instead of this open world. Because when you open it up, then it's like at that point, the story stops, right? The story stops for side quests and side things and messing around in the open world until you get to the story point, which is over here, right? Story point's over there, but you can do all this cool stuff along the way. It's like, but for Halo, I feel like you want to continue just going story to story. That's one of the things, me and Shane would go back and play through co-op through the old Halo games. We've done it several times, and a little ways back, we went through Halo 1 co-op, and we went through Halo 2 co-op, and we started Halo 3. We never finished it because we got sidetracked on other stuff, but and then, we had planned on going through 3 and then going through Reach. And it's not like we haven't played these games and beaten them. We played and beaten them several times, but and then ODST as well. Can't forget ODST, which was a great game. It's like probably one of my favorites, ODST is. And so, I just say that's where we were kind of hoping for Halo Infinite. And I'd say for, Halo going forward, if 343 wants to continue this, I think they need to go back to the drawing board. With Halo Infinite, it felt like, because Halo Infinite got pushed, it got rethought of and things like that. And I think they just didn't know what direction they wanted to head in. It was probably a division where people wanted it to be open world, while other people wanted it to be more structured and streamlined like the older series. And I think they should have went that direction. I think they kind of met in the middle eventually, but it felt like they weren't quite sure where things were going to go with this game. And it almost felt that way once it released, right? Or they made sure that multiplayer was the main focus and kind of worked on the story. Single player is a secondary. If they want to keep the multiplayer is a lot of fun, but what they should do is they should split those off, right? You have a team for multiplayer that just does multiplayer, and Halo Infinite multiplayer can continue on into the future, and they can add things to it. They can even bring out a new Halo Infinite multiplayer later on that's completely separate from the single player or cooperative proper title, right? And then they have a development group that just works on the single player portion, that's just doing everything for that story, gameplay, everything like that, where they don't intermix or intertwine the two, right? The multiplayer has nothing to do with the single player Halo type game or cooperative Halo type game, right? Where the multiplayer is its own thing, right? That would allow them, I think, to focus on just the single player, just the proper Halo experience, without having to worry about the multiplayer side of things, right? Not even introducing, besides cooperative, like couch co-op and split screen and then online co-op, to the single player campaign. Other than that type of multiplayer, there's no competitive, right? The competitive multiplayer, if you want to play that, is, well, right now, Halo Infinite multiplayer, right? Or Halo multiplayer, which is, it's still kind of separated, right? That's how they released it. But keep that separation so that way you can work on Halo as just its own independent thing. It'll be interesting to see what they do with Halo, the next Halo, right? Can they bring Halo back? They've been trying for some time now. Halo Infinite just wasn't it, right? It was an okay game, but just wasn't it. It wasn't bringing Halo back. But can they bring it back with the next game? I don't want to say after the next game, maybe the next game, because eventually people are just going to lose interest and not really care about the Halo franchise. I think possibly they have one more shot to really wow people with the next Halo game, right? If Microsoft shows off a new Halo, I think people will be excited. But if it ends up being a dumpster fire, then the next Halo may not get quite the applause as Halo Infinite did when it was shown off, right? So with all these, with these people leaving, people come and go all the time, but with these veterans of the Halo franchise leaving, it really begs the question as how much life does Halo have left? As far as what can Microsoft do to revitalize this franchise? Because this franchise is very beloved. A lot of people love the Halo franchise, but once Bungie no longer had control of it and 343 was starting to make things, I just don't think it's nothing against the people at 343. I just wish Microsoft would hand it off to somebody else. Give someone else a shot with it, see what they can do with it, because 343 clearly they've tried, and I just don't think they can get it right? It just doesn't seem like they can quite nail the Halo experience. So, you know, and I may be wrong. You know, some people out there may love Halo Infinite. It might like what 343 is doing with it, but I think 343 still just needs to work on things, right? And if they can't get it right, then someone else needs to take the helm, some other company, right? Not necessarily some company out of Microsoft, but just a company that Microsoft owns, right? Or something like that that can take the Halo franchise into a better, you know, onto better Halos. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. You know, like I said, people come and go all the time, and it's good for them to be able to spread their wings and go on to do other things within the game development uh, sphere. But at the same time, it sucks to see veterans that have worked on a game for so long leave that game. It really makes you wonder about the game itself, its future. Not to say that there aren't people that can take the helm, you know, that they can pass the torch to, but how well can they do with it? And, you know, we'll see. So let us know down in the comments below. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? What do you guys think of Halo Infinite? What do you think of Halo? You know, what do you think 343 has done with the Halo franchise? Do you think they've done well? Do you think they've done poorly with it? Do you think they've done okay with it? You know, do you still have hope for the next Halo game after Halo Infinite? You know, clearly what they, as far as we know, is coming from 343. So do you think, hey, you know, do you think 343 can turn it around and really make a Halo game that we go, now that's Halo, right? But let us know. Let me know down in the comments below. Other than that, thanks for watching, everybody. Hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe if you're not already. Do us a favor, you know, hit that subscribe button. It's free. That'll bring Shane and Patrick back if you just hit the subscribe button. And then let us know again down in the comments. Hit that notification to stay up to date with new videos that we do all the time. We'll see you next time.